Very appropriate, a leaflet.
Rob's come to, the tree hunter is going to tell you all about himself, has come to tell you about this competition, why we should all be voting for the Allerton Oak. He's also going to tell you about the other trees in the competition as well. Okay, this is Rob McBride, the tree hunter.
Lovely. Thank you, Caroline. So here we are, and what a day we've got for it. Unfortunately, I was saying to Caroline, Saturday the 1st, Saturday is an awkward day for the schools and for the media as well, so yeah. I've just come back from the Netherlands and Belgium, where I haven't got a Netherlands flag up. I've just thought I try and take as many flags as I can when I go around, but I don't usually take that one with me because that's all I have, the bag for like 4 weeks travelling, so I have to economise, and that's too big. I've got a very large Belgian flag which I've ditched as well for this. So essentially I go around, there's 3 elements to the competition. There's the voting, which we want people to do today, treeoftheyear.org, and when I looked before it was 133 for the Allerton. The others were a little bit, some of them were more, some less, but Romania seems to be winning, which is really unusual for the voting. Normally Russia just takes off and goes, and Russia's going to be really strong this year. Sorry? Yeah.
They've got some software.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they are. Anyway, they put a lot into it. Last year's winner, Hungary. The competition started 10 years ago, I think, around about 10 years ago, and the Czech Republic. Anybody know the Czech flag? I normally like to ask the kids which flag's which. Who can point to the Czech flag? Anybody can see it? You know that one? It's nice. I like that one.
That one.
Nice little thing. So I'm there next week. They invented the contest in their own country 15 or 17 years ago now, Tree of the Year, and then the guy who invented it a few years later, they got Romania and Hungary, and so it's like a core group of countries in that Central European area, and then they brought in what we'll go to have European Tree of the Year, and they are literally, bad tree joke warning, branching out. They've branched out now, and there's Asian Tree of the Year, and there may be, in the end, a World Tree of the Year. But somebody asked me a question this morning, how do I fund my trips? I'm not sponsored by anybody. I did a late shift last night at Mr. Tesco stacking shelves, so that's how I fund it. The organisers have got very little funding, and I'm really shocked year on year that they haven't got an EU grant. I don't know the ins and outs of that, but I know they're very push for money. So essentially I do that and go and promote all the trees in the contest, and we have an element which you'll see if we go in the Mansion House after, fantastic tree art, I should say tremendous tree art. The kids have done a fantastic job, and somebody standing here at the back there, Caroline, and her helpers, her team, have put a lot of work in, and what you see is that the Woodland Trust have organised a contest. I persuaded them, I'm trying to think what year it was now, 2014 perhaps, to do an English Tree of the Year. They didn't do one. We had Scottish Tree of the Year and a Welsh Tree of the Year, which I picked that year for the first time, and then for 2 years I was pushing them, I think it was 2 years, to do an English tree, and this is where we're at. So it's really great. This one is above Watford. Yes. It was the only northern tree in there, so I'm really chuffed because I live in Shropshire, so it's only an hour for me. There's been quite a few southern based trees, but the major oak, saying that, the major oak was in Nottingham, but that was always going to be a winner because that's one of the most well-known trees in the world, Robin Hood's tree. So I'll just quickly show you some photos. There's the one you're standing in front of, and I really like, somebody, my daughters were saying it's a shame that the Trips Tree of the Year voting isn't in the summer, with the trees looking in full leaf and that, but for me I like to look at the architecture sometimes, and certainly I think, touch wood, I'm going to be quite lucky next week, because when I've done the trips in the past it's been absolutely freezing in Lithuania and Poland, and I've been, like, for 3 or 4 weeks I've just been like a block of ice. But so apart from the architecture, which if you look at this, I because sometimes I visit trees and don't look at them, if you know what I mean. I'm that busy taking photos and running around that I don't get, but I'm going to have a good look at this, and we might even try and look at the tree trail after. There was an old 1960s tree trail around this park, and if the kids, if it was a school day and there was a group of kids, I was going to get them to use their phone. There's an app called Tickle, T-I-C-L, which you can just stand in front of a tree, take a photo, GPSes it, and you put the story, this is the blah blah blah, and then you walk down there and do that, and you've created a tree trail around this park in 2 hours or less. And then you have a big, on the app, if you go, say they're 2 miles away and they want to come Allerton Oak, and it just points you in a big arrow and you follow it. So there's all that kind of stuff we do with the kids. Special needs groups in Hungary last year, they were so chuffed to be able to create a tree trail, and that was the winning tree, the almond tree in Hungary. So I'll whiz through these anyway. I'm going tomorrow quite early. I'll be back down that road over there, I hope. I've got a problem with my car at the moment, so a friend of mine's kindly getting up at 4 AM to take me, and I'm going to Poland, and they've got an elderberry tree. Really nice little one, I'm looking forward to that. Then I go to the Czech Republic, and that, apparently we can't get to the tree because it's in a reservoir, but we can get to a bridge, but I really want to try and get to that. It's a very, you'll see it on the website, but it's a very nice fir, really nice location, very dramatic. Looks like a bonsai really, you know, you get a bonsai tree. Sorb tree in Slovakia. Yeah, I wasn't really sure what, I'm not a tree expert, I must say. I'm an ex-software engineer who was a burnt out software engineer 14 years ago. So some of the trees I go, I don't know what that is, I'm not really sure. Hungary, the Hungarians do well. They do very well. They've been doing the contest for quite a few years, but they give their municipalities, like so Liverpool City Council would have 1 or 2 people, one full-time, promoting the tree. So it's a different emphasis, and I was thinking of that coming here today. In Wales I do quite a lot of work, and the largest county in Wales is Powys. It's massive county, and there's no tree officer, and we keep losing. We lost a 1,000-year-old tree, yeah, larger than that, for the sake of 500 quid or something. We lost 1,000 years history, and you can see the council here, you know, they're protecting the tree, they're mulching it, so we still don't protect our ancient trees in the UK. They've got no protection. Legally, none. Tree preservation order is a slight bit of protection. You're doing a good job there. That's great. Oh, I like that. I like that. Croatia is going to be the first time I'm going to Croatia, because normally it's quite easy going Poland, Czech, Slovakia, Hungary, and then Croatia's been slightly awkward. Something to do with the Iron Curtain border. The train, there aren't the train routes to some places, but they're going to pick me up anyway. They're coming 60 or 70 miles by car, and that's a ginkgo, believe it or not. It's fantastic. I'm really looking forward to seeing that. So that's in the, it's lucky it's only 60 miles from the Hungarian tree, because it could have been a lot further. Portuguese tree, I'm most probably going to have to hitchhike. They usually give me a lot of help, but this year the organisers of, it's in the north of the country near Porto, and they've got a lot of work to do on other projects, so I might be hitchhiking. I can get about 20 miles away from it, so I've got a couple of days, so I could try and walk or something. We'll see on that one. But that's a big chestnut tree, big one. I'll hurry up a bit. Spain is a spectacular oak tree with a hole hollowed out like these trees do. And when you see a tree hollowed out like that, it's strategy for survival. It's not a bad thing, it's really good. Then we've got, I'm finishing my trip at the French tree, near, my wife's always wanted to go to Carcassonne, and sadly I'm going to go there on my own. It's close to Toulouse and Carcassonne, so I'm going to end up there, and I've even booked an extra day of rest, so I can go and see the castle walls, the town walls. Bulgaria, I'm not visiting Bulgaria this year sadly, but they've got, their trees are usually very interesting with folk, you know, the traditional dress. They get dressed like this, and this one I wanted to go, this is near Cork in Ireland, a yew tree in Ireland. Again, It's at Blarney Castle Estate. Don't know yet. I've got a 10-day gap, so I'm trying to work out if I can squeeze in that trip. And that one is where I should have been in 5 days this week, but I have to cancel it. The Russian tree is in a part of Russia I've never heard of as a country or a state called Kalmykia, and it's majority Buddhist, and there's nothing for miles except this tree, so it's like a temple, and I really wanted to go to that, but in the end it was funds and time really. I better show you them because that one's in the lead at the moment. That's the Romanian tree. Not a Remainer tree, I'm sorry, Romanian tree. So that's doing very well. Don't know why it's got so many votes yet. I haven't worked that one out. And there's the Italian tree in Brindisi, right down the south. I would have liked to, perhaps, I don't know, it looks okay. And the Belgium tree was sort of okay. What should I say? It was okay. It was nice. It's got a good story, and there was a little shrine. A lot of the trees have religious shrines to them across Europe. In a city like Liverpool with the Catholicism, you know, there's more understanding of the need or the tradition of having religious icons and that by trees and in different places. And the last one I'll do, the Netherlands. The witch's tree the other day. I wasn't sure what was going to happen, but we got there. They put me on a tandem, and I did the joke, "Can you ride tandem?" in that voice. And we went to the school, and then we rode from the school. The kids did have high vis, but they had no helmets, which was fantastic. I thought that was really good. The head teacher just rode, and it was across a busy road, and the traffic stopped. And then we went down the forest, and we went to the Black Kate, the witch's tree, and I wasn't sure what. They started singing this song, and out of the bushes come this lady in like a big black cape, and it was really a bit strange. I've got a film of it, and to scare her away, because she was going to take over the tree, to scare her away they had to sing this song and shout at the end, and every time they sang she went there, and then she come back, and then she was like a witch, and they were filming me, and every time she cackled I said to the TV, I thought my wife had turned up. Which went down well with her. Anyway, so that's the Dutch tree, and I think that's going to do really well. Black Kate, Zwartekat, and they've made beer, chocolate, cheese, and something else. So I had a Black Kate beer or two, purely in the interests of being, you know, not wanting to upset them, and it was very good. So, right, I'm going to hand you over to somebody. I could talk for too long. To Jude here, and I'm going to get my camera so I can film somebody talking other than myself.
Yes, well, we've just very luckily got Jude to come and read her fantastic story, and you know, lots of action, so the few children that are here can participate. Okay?
Excellent, thank you. Okay, so the Dutch tree may have cake and beer and cheese, but our tree's got a dragon. I'm not sure if you knew that, but it has. And I was inspired by this tree. I was out for a walk one day with my partner, walked past, saw this wonderful tree, and I said, I bet a dragon did that to the tree. And from that little idea came this book. So I'm going to read it to you now. Some of you may have already heard it, but it's always good to hear stories again. This is how legends become passed on forevermore. I brought my dragon. Normally, I'd give this to a child in the audience to look after the dragon, but unless any of you want to look after it, I'll crack on. Okay, the Dragon of Allerton Oak. Here we go. It's going to be interactive, by the way, so I'm going to expect some interaction. Here we go. Long ago, there was a mighty oak tree. It had stood for hundreds of years and was used as a meeting place by all of the animals. Here they would meet with the wisest creature who lived amongst them, Luna, the owl. Luna lived in a tree near the ancient stones. The stones had been there even longer than the oak. Every week she left her tree, circled 3 times around the stones, and flew to the ancient oak to listen to the animals' questions and worries. Interactive bit coming. Okay. One day, a terrifying roaring sound filled the sky. Looking up, rabbits, hedgehog and squirrels saw something that filled them with dread. A dragon. A huge, red, fire-breathing dragon heading straight for their tree. With a fearsome roar, Very good over this side. The dragon flapped its huge wings. Let's see those wings, everyone. And came to land with a thud next to the tree. This looks like the perfect place for my new lair, said the dragon. The animals gasped in horror. The tree was for everyone to share. Squirrel looked at the scary dragon and gulped. Taking a deep breath, he stepped forward and cleared his throat. Excuse me, Mr. Dragon. Welcome to our woods. Are you hoping to stay near here? We can show you some lovely places that would be perfect for your lair. I found the perfect place, said the dragon. I'm making it right here in this mighty oak tree. The thing is, said Hedgehog timidly, this tree's used by everyone, but I'm sure we can help you to find one that's just as good. The dragon's very cross now. He's going to roar no. Let's hear it. No! Roared the dragon. My lair is going to be in this very tree. And with a gush of flames, he flew to the topmost branches and started to make a nest for himself. The animals scampered away as quickly as they could. Let's see it. Come on, let's see the scampering. This side's not joining in as well. Well done, we've got there now. As quickly as they could. They were very worried and decided the best thing they could do was visit Luna to ask for her advice. Making their way to the ancient stone, Squirrel ran up Luna's tree and knocked on the door. Please come quickly. He said, an enormous dragon's making his lair in the oak tree and he won't share it with anyone. We'll see about that, said Luna. Fluffing up her feathers, she swooped down. Let's see those wings again. She swooped down from her tree, glided round the stones and flew to the top of the oak to speak to the dragon. You are very welcome to share our oak tree, but you'll need to find somewhere else to make your lair, she said firmly. I've already said I'm making it here. This oak is no longer for everyone to share. It belongs to me, snarled the stubborn dragon. Smoke started to pour in his nostrils. Impossible, said Luna. If you say sorry to the animals and leave the oak, you're more than welcome to share the rest of the woods with us. I won't be leaving. I like this tree, and I'm staying. Take yourself off before I decide that roasted owl is on the menu for dinner. I'll give you until tomorrow to change your mind, said Luna. And with that, she took to the air once more and flew back to her tree. The next day arrived, and the animals gathered around the bottom of the tree as Luna flew in to speak to the dragon. Have you changed your mind? She asked, flying to the uppermost branches. My mind's made up. I'm not going anywhere. By now, the smoke was pouring thickly from his nostrils, and the animals could feel the heat rising. You've left me no choice, said Luna, and spreading her wings, she took to the skies above the tree. As the dragon got ready to attack her, something very odd happened. Luna flew around and around the top of the tree, and as she did, a cloud full of many colours gathered. When the cloud had covered the dragon and the top of the tree, she let out an almighty screech. An almighty screech. With the screech came the loudest crash of thunder. Let's bang on the floor. And the brightest flash of lightning the animals had ever seen. A terrible crackling noise filled the air. Almost at once, the thunder and lightning stopped. It's quite safe now, Luna assured the animals. And when they stepped forward, they saw the dragon was gone. And you know, ever since that day, dragons have never returned to this place. But if you come to look at the beautiful Allerton Oak in our park, you can see the damage the dragon did before Luna banished him for good. The end. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it. This is the stuff of legends. Let's all vote for the tree and get it to win. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'd like to thank everyone for coming. As you probably know, we've got a brilliant art and poetry competition running, and it's all exhibited in the old cafe in the Mansion House. So please do come and have a look. And if any children are there, we can perhaps persuade Jude to tell her story again inside the Mansion House. That would be very helpful.
Caroline, can I ask you, can we get all...
I'm just trying to fit more in, yeah, moving things up. There are more than
You can see the teacher.
There's room on that table, on that, down there.
Because they've got the most.
Yeah, yes, they're not. There's lots of room in the box.
I think Kate came on to give a separate prize for this with a pencil drawing rather than the these pens. She made very much like these pencil drawings.
On the leaf that they used to send to the soldiers.
Laura Robinson Collins, she's for the environment, climate change, and that. We thought maybe she might take it to the town hall. Yeah, I'll ask her whether that's something she could do. Yes. And a winner from each of the sections, and the finalist goes to basically in the European court in European Parliament in Brussels. Goes with the